doing today? Today my plan is to do a Neuvillette story quest because I think that I have 2 hours to do this. And as we know, these story quests are quite long, but hopefully we can learn a little bit more about, Fontaine and its history if we go and learn a little bit about Neuvillette. Because last time we learned that he is the Hydro Dragon and therefore has a lot of power and influence in Fontaine besides being the Chief Justice. So yeah, I don't have any particular team theme today, just going with my usual team. And here we go. Diluvies chapter. Spend 1 story key to unlock the story quest from Neuvillette. Let's do it. For sure. Oh yeah, that's right. At the end, let me see. Oh yeah, there's this as well. Paimon is curious about Neuvillette. Go talk to him. Guess we can do that.
This is true.
A
Paimon
familiar
has so
threat.
many questions about his true identity. Let's go talk to him and find out.
Let's go do that. Yeah, that's right. Before his details had like question marks on it, but now it says, Ancient Dragon's Authority, Hydro. And his constellation is Leviathan Judicator, which were in question marks or redacted before. But now we know more information about him. We can go and see what's up. I have not really gotten a chance to explore the new areas yet, but hopefully we'll get to do that soon, or maybe we'll do that today. Who knows where this will lead us. Oh, I'm excited. Alright. Talk to Neuvillette. Yeah, Neuvillette has helped us out a lot. Yeah. He can be harsh, but also very reasonable. Harsh, but fair.
Wait,
That is
did I hear that right?
what justice
Monsieur
means to him,
Neuvillette, are you sure you'd like to take over the case
as
yourself?
far as we know. Take over the case
That's right.
yourself. Okay.
Oh, but why? Technically speaking, cases like this are better left to the guards. Neuvillette! Sabine! Hey there! What are you two talking about?
Hello!
Traveler and Paimon, please help me talk our Chief Justice out of this. He wants to investigate a case on his own.
Well, it sounds very important
This is
then.
completely unprecedented. How can we have the Udex acting like a private detective?
We know lots of detectives, yes. But if it's really important, then maybe that's why he feels like he needs to do it himself. Planning to break into a new industry, I can introduce you to some amazing detectives.
Thank you for your concern, but I currently have no such plans.
Okay.
Oh, apologies. I took your question in earnest, but it now occurs to me that it was most likely in jest.
Somewhat,
What
yes.
is it exactly? It sure sounds serious if it's something you've got to investigate personally.
A Melusine named Kiara received a threat letter.
Oh no.
And then?
That is all the information I have acquired at this
I
stage.
see, but he must leap to the defense of our Melusine companions.
I have no idea why you're so hung up over this. I've checked the
Okay.
schedule in advance, and it seems like there aren't any trials today. So, if you insist, I have no objections.
Thank you for
That's
understanding.
great that
I will
Neuvillette
leave a
gets a
note
day off
explaining
to
my
spend
absence on my
doing his
desk.
own stuff.
I would appreciate it if you could take it to Lady Farina. She may have no interest in official affairs, but standard procedure dictates that I'm still responsible for reporting to her.
Yes, understood.
Fair enough.
I'll come back
Yep.
later and deliver the note to her.
Okay. So...
Judging from Sabine's reaction, it must be pretty rare for you to investigate stuff personally. What's so special about this case?
Yeah.
I cannot tell you just yet, but it reminded me of certain past events.
Okay.
There could be complicated conflicts of interest behind all this, so I must eliminate all risks in advance.
Conflicts of interest.
Come on, stop being so secretive. We still have no idea what's going on.
And
It
somehow
is not
we
my
know we're
intention
going to
keep
get
you in the dark, but I need some
involved
time to
anyway,
revisit
so
those
we probably
memories
should
and
just know
collect
from the
my
outset.
thoughts. Long story short, a little more than 400 years ago, I became the Udex of
Not so
Fontaine
more than
and
400
initiated a
years
series of
ago.
institutional reforms. There were few people I could trust, but I had two subordinates who were exceptionally trustworthy and capable. Carole, a Melusine, and Vautrin, leader of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol.
They must have been amazing people to receive such high praise from you.
Yeah.
Indeed. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to protect them.
No.
The reforms damaged the interests of some, and the more conservative faction took advantage of Carole's identity to instigate political unrest. Ultimately, they wanted me to yield more of my power. The incident resulted in Carole taking her own life, and Vautrin being exiled.
No.
From then on, I've been especially careful when dealing with cases related to Melusines.
I see. You're concerned that you're the perpetrator's real target? Seems like they're using Melusines against you.
All Melusines used to live a secluded life away from human society.
Yes,
I
that's right.
granted their wishes when some of them, including Carole, asked me to bring them to the court of Fontaine. Many common folk believe that I share a special bond with the Melusines, and whatever they do can be traced back to me. Some of them, especially those who hold a grudge against me, exploit that belief and stir up conflict over Melusines in an attempt to lay the blame on me. I have nothing against the opinions of others, but the moment a whirlpool of conspiracy forms, it inevitably affects the innocent. It has already happened once, and I want to make sure it does not happen again.
Even so, why do you have to be the one investigating?
Because this is personal to him now.
There's the guards, the Maréchaussée Phantom, and the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. Aren't they more than enough to figure out what's going on?
Based on prior experience, there is a high chance that those who hold hostility towards me do not belong to the same department. The political system of Fontaine is relatively complex and involves the interests of multiple different factions. However, since I am technically an outsider in Fontaine, a lot of trouble could be avoided if I personally took on the case.
Outsider?
Outsider?
But aren't you the Chief Justice of Fontaine? Why would you be an outsider?
Guess it's just a matter of perspective.
I understand where you are coming from, but there is not necessarily a connection between my responsibilities and how I perceive myself. You know very well about my true identity, and have even met others of my kind in other nations.
Hydro Dragon Sovereign.
Even though I was born with a human form, there is a fundamental difference between dragons and humans. Taking on the role of Chief Justice does not make me a part of this community. In fact, the status I was granted has prevented me from forming deeper bonds with others. I have lived in Fontaine for a long time, but I do not belong here. That is why I call myself an outsider. A fish out of water.
Well, we're also outsiders to Fontaine.
Yeah, we have nothing to do with all those organizations anyway. So how about we come with you?
In
on
fact,
your
that's often why they
investigation?
get us to investigate stuff
Let's
in all the
team up
different
and round up all
nations
the
because
bad
they're like
guys lurking in the
a
dark.
neutral third party. So we could definitely
That
help.
does not sound like a bad idea. I rarely investigate cases on my own, but with professionals like you around, I'm sure it will go a lot smoother.
Yeah. I love how like the
Now I'm
tassels
starting
like
to
on
get a
his
little
outfit kind of
embarrassed.
look like
Just leave it
scales.
to us.
I will write my note of absence right away. Let us depart together once I'm done.
Interesting. Neuvillette writes a note to Farina and sets it on the desk.
Let us go. We should visit Kiara first and try to gain a better understanding of the situation.
Let's do that.
So Neuvillette feels like he doesn't truly belong here in Fontaine, but is that really true?
I guess we have to learn a little bit more about the
Kinda feels
situation
like
and how we got
he
here.
has a kinda skewed perspective on a lot of things. Anyway, let's catch up with him first.
Yeah. Even if he wasn't from here, he does seem to be like the remains of the past Diluvies chapter. Interesting. Only he and Zhongli have
I've been thinking.
um
Called yourself
their
a
story
fish
quest
out of
different
water,
name
right?
than their constellation.
But since you're the Hydro Dragon, would a dragon out of water suit you better?
Paimon.
Thank you for your suggestion. I will consider using the more accurate term in private occasions. Please allow me to rephrase. has a dragon out of water.
Ugh. That sounds kind of weird. Let's stick with the previous version instead.
So funny. What was I saying? Something about the constellations. No, it was that he sees himself as an outsider, but he's become an integral part of Fontaine's, basically their system, their community almost, right? I'd say that, and for hundreds of years, right? I'd say that even if he was an outsider, he's definitely a part of Fontaine now. And also, we learned a little bit about the Melusines when we adventured with Mamere. We learned about the Melusines and Elenas, and Elenas was a dragon, and the Melusines were born from their flesh, or something like that. Yeah. And they just want the Melusines to be happy. To just live the way they want to without being destroyed. And hopefully nothing bad happens to the Melusines here. Dogs! I know.
The weather's
It's
amazing today.
Neuvillette out here in just walking around.
Kiara,
Huh? Monsieur Neuvillette! And you are?
Hello.
Oh, I remember. You're the Traveler and Paimon.
That's
I've
right.
heard
That's
about
us.
Aw, she's adorable. Hey there, it's nice to meet you.
Super nice to meet you.
Thanks for the compliment. Is there anything I can do for you?
I heard from Sidine that you received a threatening letter.
A threatening letter? Oh, right! I remember now. The letter fell through the crack in my door as I was heading out this morning. It said something about catching me, so I thought someone wanted to play hide and seek. But Sidine told me it was a threatening letter, and that I could be in danger. But that's not gonna happen
no
with everyone looking
danger.
after me, right?
Hopefully,
Have you
yes.
run into any suspicious-looking
I hope
people
that is the
recently?
case.
Suspicious-looking people? What counts as suspicious?
Someone who follows you from behind? Someone who always strikes up a conversation with you? Yes, either of those.
Ah!
Did you think of something?
Nope. I don't remember meeting anyone like that.
Do you still have the letter with you? I want you to show me what it says.
Oh, let's see. Found it.
Letter.
Now then, get lost. If you don't leave the Maréchaussée Phantom, I will come and catch you in person. Don't say I didn't warn you.
No, that's totally a threatening
A
letter.
simple
Oh, someone's
threat.
taking a picture of them.
Neither the handwriting nor the content itself reveals anything about the writer's intentions.
Are they concealing their identity on purpose?
We can't rule out that possibility.
Yeah.
Since you can't think of
Anonymity.
anyone suspicious, I will be heading back to the Palais Mermonia to review some official documents. Kiara, you should come with us. It's safer if you stay close by.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wait, no. I still have a case to work on. I promised Alof that I'd check on her place later.
But you are being
okay.
watched right now. Going off on your own
Is
could
it
be
work
dangerous.
that you can
And
do?
that's where we come in
Inside?
to help. We'll stay with Kiara and make sure she's safe.
Oh yeah, we can do that. For sure.
That's around anyone scheming to hurt Kiara can forget about it.
That's right.
Thank you, Traveler. Big Sis Paimon.
Oh, big sis Paimon.
Don't worry, your big sis Paimon is super strong.
All right, let us go our separate ways for now. Please take care of Kiara.
We
We'll
will.
take her to a lost place right away. See you around.
We can be bodyguards for now.
So, Kiara, how old are you?
Let me think. 1, 2, 10? I can't remember.
Probably.
But I remember coming to the court of
Probably
Fontaine with
older
Carole and
than
Neuvillette.
Paimon.
That must have been a long time ago.
Carole and Neuvillette. So that would have been a few hundred years ago.
Did Neuvillette mention her just now? That was more than 400 years ago. Why would Paimon be a big sister to
Yeah.
My memory isn't that good, but Carole told me I could address others based on how I feel about them. Paimon feels a lot more grown up than me, so you're a big sis.
Huh. Hi, Muncies.
I see.
Hey, Traveler, did you hear that?
Well, you're not more grown up than me, but yes. You're definitely be a big sister to the Melusines. Someone's watching.
Strange. Paimon felt like someone was following
Someone was
us.
taking pictures of us. Weird.
Yeah.
Suspicious. Hello.
Kiara, you're here. Huh? Wait, aren't these two...
Oh, they're the
Hi.
Traveler and Big Sis Paimon.
It's
I
us.
thought so. What brings you here?
You're protecting Kiara.
Did you run into any trouble?
A little bit.
It's not really trouble anymore with us around.
Yeah.
May I begin inspecting the store as planned?
Of course. Go ahead.
I want to meet Chiori. The one who owns the fashion store. The store, right? Yeah. The clothes look really cool.
No hazards detected. You've cleared the inspection. Seems like the criminal from that case last month never set foot in here at all.
That was quick. What were you inspecting?
I took a look around the shop. Neuvillette says that us Melusines have special eyes that can see things people can't.
Yes.
Things like bloodstains. No matter how hard you try to clean them up, we Melusines can see their residual stains for some time. Pretty cool, huh?
Very cool.
All right. Now that you're done inspecting, can we have a chat?
Uh-oh.
Hear me out. I'm planning to release an outfit for children next month and wanted to hire you as my model. Is that okay with you?
Of course!
Yeah.
Is there anything I need to do?
Please wait a moment while I take your measurements. This sample should be a perfect fit.
Ooh,
Seems like they
interesting.
get along really well.
Ether is still on the lookout.
What are you looking at?
I think there's someone over there.
Is there really someone watching us? Shh. Let's sneak over and take a look.
Yeah. Who wants to hurt Kiara the Melusine?
I think light and frilly clothes look best on you.
Oh, those
You
look so
definitely
cute
look
in a
cute wearing them.
Melusine.
I love them too! Especially the soft and fluffy kind.
You know, some of the Melusines have like almost like wings on their back. Like Sedine had like wings. But not all of them do. Interesting. Oh, it's you. Okay.
Strange. Why isn't he back yet?
What are you doing?
Gotcha!
I don't
Charlotte,
think you
what
were
are
the
you
suspicious
doing here?
person from the letter, but you were nonetheless
Wait,
a
Paimon, you're the one who
suspicious
sent Kiara that
person.
threatening letter. But you don't seem like the type to...
Threat letter? What threat letter?
Yeah, I don't think Charlotte sent the threat letter, but I gotta admit, a lot of the things she does are very morally questionable.
This is starting to feel like an interrogation. Okay, I'll be straight with you. I don't know the slightest thing about that threat letter you mentioned. I only wanted to follow Monsieur Neuvillette and request an interview with him.
Yeah, something tells
You wanna
me
interview
that's not gonna happen.
That's right. I'm not the only one, you know. Interviewing him is every journalist's dream. But it's not an easy task to accomplish. The Palais Mermonia rarely accepts appointment requests from us, and we never have the chance to interrupt when the court's in session.
As you should
So
not.
imagine
So,
how
yeah.
surprised I was seeing him out on the streets today. It seemed like you were investigating something too. The perfect opportunity to whip up an exclusive, don't you think? Of course, I'll make sure to
I
turn
don't
in my
like a lot of the
manuscript
stuff
to him
that
for
Charlotte
review.
does, because
I have my
basically
principles,
exploiting
and
people.
I'd never publish an article without the consent of all parties involved.
I don't think he'd agree.
Yeah, we're doing a secret investigation that can't be made public knowledge.
Yeah, for safety reasons.
I see.
So.
Well, if you say so, I guess I'll put this matter aside for now. Oh, what a shame. Chances like this don't come by very often, you know.
I mean, you
In
can keep
exchange,
trying.
Could you tell me what the threat letter is about? I swear I won't tell.
No. Because when you say I swear I won't tell,
Alright then.
no, Paimon, don't tell her. That is literally something people say, and then whether they intend to or not, are
Cute little Melusine.
accidentally tell everybody.
Not so loud.
Like, I'm sorry.
Just so
Charlotte is
happens that I
exactly
did
the
an
kind of
interview with
gossipy
Kiara.
person who's,
Last
if you
month,
tell her
in
something,
fact.
that's just a
It
way
was
to make
well
sure
received by
everybody
our
in the entire
readers,
city
so I was
knows.
planning to continue the series, and now someone's coming after her. I'll ask my colleagues about it. Who knows? We might find something. And don't worry.
Okay.
I know what I'm doing. This secret's safe
As
with
long
me.
as it really is safe, though.
But I gotta warn you, even if I keep my lips sealed, others will know eventually.
Sure.
Hey.
People care a great deal about Monsieur Neuvillette's each and every move. Some may have already realized that something was up. Besides, the case involves Melusines, so... Anyway, I'll get going now. Watch yourselves, alright?
Yep, you too.
Well, that
I
was
mean,
a
Charlotte's
nice chat.
alright. She just does some things that's like,
Let's head back and check
I'm
on
not
Kiara.
sure I agree with that. Rendezvous here. Oh, Clarand.
What do you think?
We're gonna
The
get a
design
visit
looks
from
pretty good,
everybody
huh?
here today.
I think it's great.
Huh. It's very pretty
Maybe
indeed.
she's here for some
Clarand,
fashionable
what
stuff
are you doing
too.
here? It seems that you just showed up out of nowhere.
As I passed by the Palais Mermonia, I heard that Neuvillette was investigating a case with you.
Something like
Technically
that.
speaking, he and I are under an employer-employee relationship. It didn't feel right to have my employer personally take on such trivial cases. I happened to have some time at the moment, and came to take a look. I sometimes have my clothes custom-made at this boutique, in any case,
Nice.
so we always
I
have a
like
lot to talk
Clarand's
about.
outfit. Her hat is really cool.
Neuvillette sure is lucky to have someone like you.
Leave this to me. You should go meet up with Neuvillette.
Sure.
Okay then, we'll leave Kiara in your hands.
As long as
Alright,
somebody's
let's go
protecting
find
her,
Neuvillette.
we are good. And I trust Clarand.
How has your work been recently?
Same as usual. My schedule normally isn't too packed, so I have plenty of time for myself.
Ooh, then shall we go out to play? How about a beach vacation, like last
There's
time?
lots of beaches here in
I've even
Fontaine.
signed up as a volunteer lifeguard. I'm really good at swimming, so I'm sure I can help.
Yeah, sounds like you guys have fun plans. Alright, let's head back. Neuvillette. We left Kiara with Clarand, so we can come back and help you again. I always want to go to this door, but I gotta remember it's not this door. It's this door, you have to go around the long way. It's just, I see a door there, and I see the quest marker every time, and it's like... the door. But it's not a real door. Well, it probably is, but we just can't go in there.
Oh, you're back. Is everything all right?
For now, yeah.
We ran into Clarand. She offered to help us protect Kiara.
Mm-hmm.
That is good to hear. I trust her abilities. It looks like Kiara is in good hands.
We thought so too. Well, did you find any leads?
I've been looking over the case records, specifically inspection reports submitted by Kiara and major cases I've judged over the past decade.
Okay.
I've come up with two plans. On one hand, I could start with Kiara and track down the group behind all this step by step. On the other, I could also analyze the conflicting interests of these major cases and confirm my suspicions if there is indeed a mysterious group that bears a grudge against me.
They both sound like pretty solid plans, but can you really finish browsing through all these documents? That's a lot of reading even for Paimon.
Paimon is amazing
Don't
at
worry.
reading.
I'm a fast reader when it comes to official documents. After all, I have several hundred years of reviewing under my belt.
We'll help you read through them. We have nothing else to do.
Yeah, and we are here to be super helpful.
Thank you. I will continue looking through the ones piled up on the desk, but feel free to browse through anything else in this room.
everything in this room. This is a big room about Risley, the smuggling case, the bribery case, the representative council's proposal. Okay, anything else in this room I need to be wary of before... I don't think so. Okay, so not literally, just everything on the desk. Okay. About Spina di Rosilla. Okay, let's see. Callus, boss of the Spina di Rosilla, was defeated in the duel and died of serious injuries. The defense in his honor has now come to a close. The defendant did not raise any objections throughout the trial. Iudex Neuvillette reserved judgment in this case. Its details are still under investigation. Okay, well, we did bring closure to that case before, so that's good. There has been a serious bribery scandal within the guards. The Special Security and Surveillance Patrol has investigated the case. All suspects involved have been arrested. The suspects have confessed to their crimes. Okay, well that one seems, on its surface, pretty complete. The Representative Council has filed a request to collaborate with the Marechaussee Phantom on certain public events. Based on research, they believe that Melusines can enhance the popularity of these events. The Marechaussee Phantom is yet to respond. However, it has not prohibited the Melusines from participating in such activities. Okay. The smuggling case. The smuggling case was solved by the joint forces of the guards and the Marechaussee Phantom. The principal offenders have received judgment based on the severity of their crimes. Please refer to the appendix for a list of names. Okay. About Risley. The defendant, Risley, has confessed to his crimes and declared guilty by Iudex Neuvillette. Risley will be exiled to the fortress of Meripede, where he will be serving his sentence. During the trial, Neuvillette remained silent for a long time. Okay. Sure.
Have you made any progress?
We skimmed through some of them, but there was
yeah, these all seem like pretty complete cases at this point.
Oh, there's so many
I guess
documents lying around.
that doesn't mean that nobody's angry, but...
I would
I
love
don't
to
know.
answer that question, but the truth is I've never made a precise calculation myself. If memory serves me right, there should be at least 100,000 cases. The documents you see are just a small
100,000.
fraction of what's really there.
That's gotta be more than one a day, even if he's been around for 400 years.
Looks like the work of a Chief Justice isn't easy at all.
100,000? That's a lot.
That might be how it seems from another's
Gotta
perspective,
be doing
but
lots of them
trials and
all the
official
time.
duties are, to me, simply routine. There are many documents here. Take a break if you are tired.
You read Paimon's
Just
mind.
imagine being a judge, though,
All right.
known for their
Let us take a break,
impartiality and fairness, who has the experience of 100,000 cases under their belt. That would be pretty insane. Look at us on the comfy chairs in his office.
Even though resting is a part of taking a break, shouldn't we at least talk about something? All this silence is making Paimon feel really awkward.
Well, if you're able to sit in silence for...
Please pardon my lack of consideration. People rarely come to the Palais
Sometimes it's just
Mammonia
nice to
for
sit in
matters
silence
outside
with
of
other
work.
people.
To be
Being
quite
alone
honest,
together.
I am not sure what we should do. Would you like to have some drinks, perhaps? You must be thirsty after all that work.
Ooh, drinks! Thank you! Paimon wonders what Neuvillette likes to drink. Oh, maybe
Well,
he's
what
a
do
fan
you
of really
think?
fancy
He's the
wines.
water dragon. What do you think the answer
He
to that
seems
is?
like the type of person who'd own an entire winery. You know, like Diluc.
They have exquisite wine glasses.
What's inside these glasses? It looks just like water.
Oh, it's not just any water, Paimon. It's...
An astute observation. It is indeed water.
I love the way he just drinks the water. That's the thing, though.
So it's just
If you travel,
plain
it's
old
really true. If you
water?
travel to different places,
What did you think it
the
was?
water tastes different. It's kind of cool.
Since you're the Chief Justice and all, Paimon thought you'd prefer something more sophisticated.
And
This water is indeed very special. It would not be an
yeah,
overstatement to call
Paimon.
it sophisticated.
No, legitimately, like, different water tastes different.
I believe you've already tried Fonta. In fact, there are many other drink factories in Fontaine, including those that specialize in packaging pure drinking water. Said water is sourced from all across Teyvat, including Mondstadt's Cider Lake, Liyue's Chintsa village, and Inazuma's Konda village. Here is one of their latest products, water from Sumeru's Apam Woods.
Is there any difference? Neuvillette, please enlighten these two.
If I were to comment on their mouthfeel, the waters of Cider Lake warm the heart. The waters of Chintsa village have a
I sometimes forget
touch.
Cider Lake is not actually a
While one
lake
might
full
call
of
the
cider.
waters of Konda village
It is just water.
acid. Distinct differences exist between the waters of each area. You will appreciate their intricacies once you taste them carefully.
Really? Let Paimon try!
It's true. Like, if you live in a place like that has the water has a lot of minerals, you can taste.
What do
You
you
can
think?
immediately taste the water is different when you go to another place where it's more filtered.
Nope. Paimon couldn't taste any difference at all. Isn't this just normal
I would
water?
have thought you guys would understand. You've been everywhere,
regrettable.
Paimon.
It seems like you still have a long way to go in refining your tastes.
Hey, this doesn't have to do with refining our taste. Paimon's pretty sure most ordinary people can't tell the difference. How did you do it anyway?
Well, here's the water dragon.
Because you're the Hydro Dragon?
Yeah, that could be the case.
We are allowed to bring that up, right? Since no one else is around? Oh, Paimon's been wanting to ask this for ages. If you're the Hydro Dragon, why would you become Chief Justice in human society?
Excellent question. I've been wondering that too. But there's a good reason for everything. There's no accidents in this game.
Sorry, Paimon was just curious. You don't have to answer.
There's nothing to hide. I was simply organizing my thoughts.
Yes, so we can put it
I
in the most
accepted this
eloquent words
position because I
possible.
wanted to seek out answers to questions that have perplexed me.
Questions? Are there really things you can't figure out?
Many, in fact. But the one question that puzzles me the most concerns my own existence. In essence, I neither know why I was born in this form, nor do I understand where my long life should take me. I lost many memories from the moment I was born. The primordial sea, for example. I can only vaguely recall its connection to me, but I am unaware of what that connection is exactly.
Interesting. So he remembers that there are things that he forgot, but doesn't remember what they exactly are. No. So that means, was he reborn from another life where he remembered all those things? Is there anyone who can answer those questions?
Perhaps the elemental dragons of other nations may have some form of an answer. However, they are scattered across all of Teyvat. Abruptly visiting could very well pose an unpredictable risk.
Hey, if you want
True.
anyone to just go
Some of
around
them have very
and
unique personalities.
ask
too.
them, we can try.
I have been holding on to these unanswered questions for a long time. But there is one thing I've discovered along the way. My emotions easily resonate with those of others. Even I don't
It's
have the
very
slightest idea
empathetic.
what they mean.
Yeah.
My guess would be that there are at least some similarities between humans and myself. By observing their behavior, perhaps I could one day understand the meaning of my existence.
I see.
Have you made any progress then?
Perhaps, but I find such progress difficult to describe.
Yeah,
As an
it's hard
outsider,
to
chances to
quantify
engage in
kind of
meaningful
growth.
interactions with others are few and far between. That's why I'm quite thankful for this chat. Such opportunities are rare.
Yeah, no worries.
Alas, time is limited. We should move on with our investigation.
We
Are
can
we
do
gonna
that.
continue reading these documents? Paimon's getting dizzy already.
No, Paimon.
I wasn't able to find any leads even after browsing through most of the documents. But while we were on the topic of water a moment ago, another idea came to me.
Okay.
Water? Do you mean...
The Fountain of Lucine.
That's right. The Fountain of Lucine is where all of Fontaine's waters converge. It is the vessel of countless memories and emotions. If there really were an organization attempting to use Melusines against me, they should also hold an intense resentment towards me. Perhaps we'll be able to find some new leads by sensing the hydro element within the fountain.
Yeah, well, some pretty weird things have happened when we go to the fountain.
Come on, let's go take a look.
Perhaps we should go. There shouldn't be too many people near the Fountain of Lucine during the evening.
Or late at night. Yeah. Okay, ever-surging memories. Yeah, first time we heard the voices of Vignier and also the other women from the serial disappearances case. You know, finally got their revenge. And if you go in there...
Neuvillette?
I know, what a shocker, right? It's not the evening. Oh, I guess it is the evening. And also...
I probably shouldn't disturb them.
No, you shouldn't. Also, if you turn the audio down, I remember we tried this. You can actually hear the sound of someone crying who was probably...
Looks like we got lucky today. There's hardly anyone around.
We'll turn all the extra audio off.
What should we do
except for
next?
the voices.
Oh, Traveler, can you still hear the voices from the fountain?
Well, yes, if we go in the fountain and we turn down all of the sound effects and everything, you can hear someone crying. But, not really.
Perhaps leave the investigation to me. I need you to take a few steps back and keep a safe distance.
What's up with those other two
A
guys,
safe
though?
distance? Neuvillette, what exactly are you...
Right.
Whoa, it's
Because that's not going to attract a whole lot of attention right now, for sure. But it is beautiful, though. The fountain is beautiful, and water is beautiful, too. As the fountain... Oh, in a domain. The fountain of Lucine lights up, a wave of dizziness washes over you. Oh, no. What just happened? Everything looks a little different than how they are normally. I should continue forward and take a look around. I know, we're in black and white now. Everything is black and white. Oh no. This music is so emotional. The sound of rain. Carole. Diluvies is so
Thank you
lovely.
for bringing us here, Monsieur Neuvillette. The court of Fontaine is truly incredible. There's so many things I've never seen or heard before.
I understand your excitement, but there's no need to thank me. Although I have responded to your wishes, it was not without personal interest. Melusine's special sight make them especially suited for joining the Maréchaussée Phantom. I'm certain you'll become an indispensable part of Fontaine's detective force.
I know, but I'm really glad to be of help.
Aww.
Not only can I repay you for your kindness, but also, it feels like my life has become a lot more meaningful.
But a meaningful life also comes with its risks.
It's definitely the safest to just stay in the village, but I want to see the outside world nonetheless. In truth, I've never really understood the purpose of my existence, or what I'm capable of contributing to this world. For almost 20 years, we've stayed in our village without finding any answers. That's why we wanted to leave our village and look for the meaning of our existence elsewhere.
Like when we met Mamere and with her paintings.
I understand your confusion. In fact, I feel the same way. I too came here for an answer to my questions about my own existence.
Really? Could you tell us what we should do to fit in as you did? The truth is, many people threw rocks at us today and told us to go back to our village.
Oh no.
It hurt a lot when they hit me in the head, and I tried really hard not to cry.
Logically speaking, both time and effort are essential when different species attempt to peacefully coexist. It will be a difficult road ahead, with countless obstacles to overcome. Different identities and ways of thinking all contribute to strengthening the barrier between one another. Removing it will be no easy feat. There aren't many suggestions I can share, because just like you, I haven't fully integrated into this society. Despite my social status, I am still an outsider.
Oh, I see. Let's all do our best then.
Yes, do our best.
I'm
That's all we can do
confident that we'll find the
sometimes.
meaning of our existence one day.
I believe in you,
Yeah.
but you shouldn't lose sight of the difficulties ahead. If you run into any trouble, I suggest that you inform Vautrin, the captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol.
Huh? Is he the person I met in the Palais Marmonia earlier?
Yes? Do you have any concerns?
That stone-faced human. He didn't even bother to look at me when I tried talking to him. It felt like he wasn't interested in anything but work.
He is an earnest man. There will be
Yeah,
plenty of
maybe he just
opportunities
doesn't
to
show
work
his
together in the
emotions
future,
very much.
so please try to get along.
Which might be better than all the people who seem to dislike you. Interesting. Yeah. Overcoming those barriers early on. Must have been a very different time back then. Was this pathway always here? But yeah, this is. We can't. But this is heading towards the opera, right? Or is this on the other side?
Hello. Can I help with anything?
No.
Thanks, but no need.
No.
Oh. Hello, I'm Carole, a Melazine. Is there anything you need help with?
Get away from here! I'm calling the guards!
Please, calm down. I don't mean to cause any harm.
Hard to say.
Yeah, we should probably stay away from these monsters. Haven't you realized? Strange incidents have been increasing ever since they came.
No.
Why should we trust this species from who knows where anyway? I can't believe Neuvillette allowed them into the court of Fontaine just like that.
Exactly. That so-called Chief Justice even granted them official positions. Not only that, but they're now responsible for investigating cases as well. I swear, there's some hidden agenda at play here.
Go away! Quit acting innocent!
No, these people are so mean.
I won't let you say bad stuff about him.
They're so direct.
He
They're
joined
not
the
even
Mari
like
show
trying to
since
hide
and
how
solved
they're
lots and lots of cases. We've never done
they're
anything wrong.
basically their racism.
Solving cases? With Neuvillette in cahoots with you. You could have fabricated it all, and no one would know. So tell me, how can you guarantee that you Melazines aren't involved in anything that occurred recently?
You're just basically making up stuff. The exact same thing could be said about
Don't go advertising if you're not a good
humans.
Vautrin?
Vautrin.
Aside from spreading unjustified rumors, if you continue insulting members of the Mare Chaussee Phantom,
Yeah.
the
You're
Special
just making
Security
stuff
and
up. You could say the
Surveillance Patrol
exact
has
same thing
every
about
right to
anybody.
subject you to interrogation. There have indeed been an increase in cases recently, perhaps due to the shifting currents of conspiracy, and I understand your concern. However, there's been no evidence pointing towards Melazines being involved.
Even the captain of the security patrol is on their side. Neuvillette's newly reformed police force is already corrupt to the core.
How can two completely different species possibly coexist?
Well, not with that attitude. Not with that attitude,
that?
you won't.
Yeah,
Oh, poor thing.
I don't understand.
I know.
Why
They're
won't
not even
anyone
giving you a
believe us?
chance.
There have been rumors saying that you were born from calamity, and that you inherently bring danger to those around you. There are countless negative rumors about you floating around in Fontaine. It's near impossible for you to become a part of this society. Best if you give up before it's too late.
No.
Monsieur Neuvillette said that we needed to put both time and effort in. I don't know how long it'll take, but I can at least try making my best effort. I still want to try a little harder. Thank you for bailing me out earlier. Okay, I won't be taking stay and hand them out to everyone.
Give them to me.
You're not gonna take them away? right?
We'll hand them out together. The faster we get this done, the sooner we can head back.
That's great. I don't love those people are so mean. They're not even trying to, like, you know, disguise their thoughts. They really are just that cruel to say those things to somebody's face. Basically making stuff up just because you don't like the other person. And not even being subtle.
Monsieur Neuvillette, what's this?
Medals of Peace, awarded to you and Vautrin.
Aww, those
Thank
are
you
so
for
pretty.
your continued dedication in the past 5 years. You've taken one small step forward in helping Melusines gain the trust of humans.
I think I'll pass.
Hey, don't say that. We wouldn't have made it this far without you. It won't be long before Melusines begin living peacefully with the humans. Just the thought of it makes me happy.
Don't keep your hopes up. We've barely scratched the surface. There's still a long way to go before that dream of yours comes true.
Ugh, you blockhead! Don't ruin the mood!
Yeah, don't ruin the mood at this point.
Vautrin brings up a good point. The trust humans have placed in you is still very fragile. Any small incident could undermine the hard work you've put in. Please be on your guard for the next few days.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it.
I guess public opinion's still not great, is it?
Medal of Peace? Peace isn't going to give us back what's rightfully ours.
Are you sure we should do this? We're no match for Neuvillette, even with all our powers combined. What if...
Yeah, what are you
Nah,
guys up
not
to?
gonna happen. As long as he remains in his position, there's no chance he'd take us out personally. There are rules even he must comply with in the political sphere. Unless he wants to become an enemy of Fontaine.
What are you doing?
So quit worrying and just go ahead with it. I've already planned out the murder. Once we lay the blame on the Melusines as the person who brought them to the court of Fontaine, Neuvillette will be left with no excuse.
I guess you're right. Ugh. If he just left things the way they were, it never would have come to this. But he's forced our hand.
He really doesn't force you to do anything. He found qualified people to do a job, and you guys are just upset.
Turn the murderer in!
No, don't hurt her.
Melusines can't be trusted! That goes for Neuvillette too!
Okay, I do gotta say though, is no one else suspicious that Neuvillette has lived for 400 years at this point? Like, we know his secret, but like, everyone else doesn't. So like, wouldn't everybody else be suspicious of that? Suspicious, like, first of all, he sees himself as an outsider because even back in these times, people didn't necessarily trust him. Like, you know, this guy, you're doing this, is basically the Chief Justice. This is the most important job in the entire country, and we don't even know very much about him, kind of thing. Which is very arbitrary, but even so, at this point, I don't see a super large amount of people questioning who he really is 400 years later, considering that he's still around in the same position 400 years later. But no, it's just as he said, he doesn't care about, you know, other people are free to have their opinions, and he doesn't really care what happens to him, but like, the innocent, they're gonna be dragged into this.
Peaceful coexistence? What a joke. Get out of the court of Fontaine and don't ever come back!
Oh, what's wrong with you?
The results of the investigation are in, Captain Vautrin.
Go on.
There is no direct evidence, but reasonable inference indicates that the ones controlling the situation are supporters of the old regime. whose interests have been undermined by the reform.
That is exactly what it appears to be,
They tricked
yes.
Miss Carole into going to the crime scene and pressed charges against her. After that, they incited panic among the people in order to make Monsieur Neuvillette confess to his mistakes and yield up power.
That does seem to be exactly
the
what's
guards
happening.
were stopped by the enraged mob and couldn't intervene in time. Miss Carole chose to sacrifice herself to pacify the situation.
No.
And she called me a blockhead. A little investigation would have cleared things up. Why didn't she wait until we'd established the truth? She didn't have to prove her innocence like that.
The situation had rapidly escalated to a physical altercation between infuriated citizens and the guards. Miss Carole might have thought there was no better plan.
That is indeed something she'd do.
Captain Vautrin, should I present these results to Monsieur Neuvillette right away?
There's no need. Notify the guards to restrict public access to all information.
Restrict access to... Wait, are you planning to...
There's something I've never told Carole. I had a little sister named Ilaria who passed away when I was very young.
Oh, does she remind him of his sister?
She's just like Carole in every possible way. Innocent, kind, always believing the best of people. People like her are the most vulnerable to deception and betrayal. From the moment I met Carole, I knew that she'd be easily manipulated by others. I kept a cold demeanor and tried lecturing her into giving up.
She was so resilient.
Looks like she was unfazed by that.
Up until the end.
Yes. In fact, some of her spirit must have rubbed off on me instead. Because I too began working towards that pie-in-the-sky dream of hers. I should have known. Those cowards don't have the guts to confront Neuvillette. They even avoided causing trouble for me. They were after Carole all along. Can you understand how I feel? Right now, there's only one thought on my mind. Only through bloodshed can their debt be repaid.
No.
I understand, but I'm certain Monsieur Neuvillette wouldn't accept
and neither
that
would
as
Carole.
a solution.
She wouldn't want that.
That's exactly why we need to keep this a secret. Give me the list of suspects. What happens after this has nothing to do with any of you.
To take vengeance.
I will take responsibility for everything.
That's almost the worst. I think it's so evil when people basically take advantage of the innocent. Not just like those innocent who have nothing to do with the crime, but innocents and just in general, you know. Those that are still optimistic and peaceful and, you know, still have a beautiful view of what the world could be like. And basically just ruining that. Poor Carole. No. Even in the end, she just didn't want people to fight. She didn't want to. She couldn't take all of that. All this conflict because of her. But it shouldn't have been. She wanted to bring people together. Not tear them apart. Look for the objective of this area.
Did you know? They're hearing a major case today, and the criminal is Captain Vautrin of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. Apparently, he resorted to personal measures to seek revenge for Carole and settled the score with the group that framed his friend.
That is exactly what I think happened, yes.
Hey, why aren't you saying anything?
I'm thinking... we should try our best to bail him out when the trial commences.
Bail him out? Why?
Shh, keep it down! Haven't you realized? Both Vautrin and Carole are Neuvillette's most trusted subordinates. After everything that happened to Carole, Neuvillette's guaranteed to do everything he can to keep Vautrin around.
Well, then you don't really understand.
Besides, now that the
you don't
Overchief has been
understand
appointed,
Neuvillette.
Neuvillette's status is secure as can be. As long as we
He
redirect
will
public
do
opinion,
whatever is the
Neuvillette
correct
will be
answer,
able to give
not the
Vautrin a
answer that he
reprieve.
wants.
The benefits are endless.
Raucous commotion gradually begins to rise in the upper hall.
Vautrin sought vengeance for his friend for a valid cause. This represents the justice he upholds. Please think about it. If the same thing had happened to you,
hang on,
you feel the same way he did?
All of you down in the audience chair.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't have that much say down here.
This whole thing started because of those despicable cowards who levied false accusations against Carole. How could Vautrin be declared guilty for seeking revenge?
Monsieur Neuvillette.
Mr. Vautrin is innocent! He's innocent!
Order! I acknowledge your arguments.
Neuvillette will do what he thinks is
revenge
just.
could be seen as a form of justice.
Which is not always what he believes is right.
Which is why I cannot help but feel regret and even grief about the judgment I must now impose. Personal justice does not equate to justice as defined by the law. To execute your plan for revenge, you abused your authority and conducted informal executions. Your actions have thus violated the law. Therefore, you will be declared guilty.
What?
That can't be! Monsieur Neuvillette, please give this a little more thought. He has done so much for Fontaine.
Vautrin, my friend, is there anything else you want to say?
Neuvillette, what have I done to deserve this? I've closely followed every one of your orders. Can't you see? Everyone in this room believes that I'm innocent. Why can't
And you were so
just
ready
let
to
me
take
off?
responsibility.
Is this what justice means to you? Answer me, Neuvillette!
That is pure anger.
Order. Since there have been no further objections, the Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr.
You can hear how
Vautrin.
sad he is for giving this verdict, though.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, Mr. Vautrin will be declared guilty.
There you go. That's the story then.
Goodbye, Monsieur Neuvillette.
This all happened because of Carole's naive ideas.
How can different species peacefully coexist anyway?
But 400 years later, we still see the Melusines peacefully coexisting with humans. In that way, I guess. Shh, Paimon, let me finish. If Carole could see today where the Melusines are still peacefully coexisting with humans, you know, still holding respectable positions in society because of their hard work and their skills, you know, basically showing their merit, I think she'd be happy. Because exactly her wish has come true, where the Melusines are just part of the society of the court of Fontaine. It's really sad that she died, though. Just think about it. Other Melusines from that time are still around. We could have gotten to meet her. See what a wonderful person she is. I'm just saying that I hope she knows her sacrifice was not in vain. And Vautrin too. It's those feelings are just so raw, right? You couldn't save your friend and you couldn't stand up for what she believed in, so then that's why he took vengeance. But that's not what Neuvillette would have wanted, and that's not what Carole would have wanted, and ultimately the thing with Neuvillette is the law is the law, and he's not going to make excuses for you. You know, that would be corruption. But I just hope that the two of them could see today, when everything has finally worked out, and know that what Carole and Vautrin fought for has come true, and therefore it wasn't all for nothing.
What's wrong? Are you not feeling well?
What was that?
Apologies, it seems like my memories got the better of me.
Yeah, we saw the whole
I
story.
tried my best to suppress the power of Hydro within myself, but it seems like it still caused the emotions within the Fountain of Lucine to boil over.
Okay, we need to put
due
this.
to my negligence. The overflow of emotions and memories must have affected you as well. Are you all right?
Yeah, Neuvillette has all of those. He just has so much, all these feelings buried inside him. And I guess this is how they presented themselves. See, so he seems so cold and harsh in the Chief Justice's chair, and yet, in actuality, he's very empathetic and all these. He really absorbs all of these emotions from all the people. It's actually not dissimilar to what Farina does. Over the course of the playthrough of Fontaine, I've just made lots of comments about the differences, like the opposites that Neuvillette and Farina have, like their contrasts that help them run Fontaine. But in this way, it's almost like, yeah, they both really try to stay in touch with people. Even though Neuvillette takes like the sort of distancing himself away from people and just observing from afar kind of take on it, whereas Farina tries to really immerse herself in human culture, even though she's very lonely when she's not around them. They both really care about people. I'm fine. I'm fine. I mean, Ether's used to seeing memories of more people and dreams and things like that. So we're good.
Wow. The Hydro Dragon is more powerful than Paimon thought.
What do you mean? He's super powerful.
The last time we came here, the Traveler only heard voices from the Fountain of Lucine. No emotions boiling over or anything.
Well, hang on. I mean, I would still say when we met Vinier and
this
the
might be because
disappearances, the women who disappeared, they will.
It is not only the fountain. I can sense emotions from all
I'd say that's very emotional too.
Rivers, lakes, and even the rain.
All these sources of water going into
sounds awesome.
That sounds very overwhelming.
But I rarely ever do anything like this. Emotions carried by water are always chaotic and disconnected. As an outsider, having my mind occupied with irrelevant memories isn't exactly a pleasant experience.
The memories I saw were related to you.
Which ones?
The whole story that you described from like 400 years ago. From when you brought Carole to the court of Fontaine to when you declared Vautrin guilty.
It's fine. I prefer not to speak of those memories. That does not mean I am deliberately hiding them. It was a coincidence, but perhaps it is a good thing that you saw everything in that form.
Saves you from having to relive the memories.
You should now understand why I believe there to be a conspiracy behind all this. These two cases are much too similar. I felt like I needed to do something.
I know, poor Paimon is so lost because Paimon didn't see what we saw.
Then let us get back to the point. While I was investigating the fountain, I discovered something strange.
Okay.
I did not sense too much hatred towards me within its accumulated emotions.
Okay.
However, I did find some resentment directed towards Kiara. If I remember correctly, it seemed to be related to a smuggling case.
Okay, that was one of the ones that we read, right?
I don't know what caused this to happen, but it seems like there won't be a shortcut to finding the organization that may be pulling the strings here.
Oh! Didn't we read about that in one of the documents?
I believe so, yes.
You've read about it? In that case, the resentment should have come from that incident.
Huh? Oh, Navia! Well, we really are going to see everybody here, aren't we?
At the Palais Mermonia.
Navia! Nice to see you again! Is there something we can help
I know, last time we were here, we were almost killed by a giant army of robots with guns.
Don't worry. Rumors are abroad that someone's scheming against Melusines, and that you're investigating
Charlotte, what
the
did you
case.
do?
So I told the Spina di Rosula to keep an eye out for leads. We've had unfamiliar faces showing themselves at the Fleuve Cendre lately.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you'll find the suspects among them.
Thank you. Where did you hear about all this?
Yeah.
The Chief Justice out on investigation, accompanied by the Traveler from afar. No matter how you conceal your whereabouts, there will be countless
That's
eyes
true. We
watching
are
you.
quite famous now.
He talked to Kiara, but didn't ask her to keep things secret. People curious to know asked around for information, then it was only a matter of time before word of the threatening letter spread all
Charlotte.
across
I'm sure it
Fontaine.
was Charlotte.
So that's what Charlotte meant.
Indeed.
Okay, yeah, she said even if she doesn't spread it herself,
for too long.
we are
the
just
rumors
not
still spread faster than I
covering our
imagined.
tracks very well, so other people will know.
You know, it could be because you attract more attention than
I
you
think that is the case.
Anyway,
I think anywhere Neuvillette goes, everybody's like,
The
"Hey,
suspects who
that's
threatened Kiara
Neuvillette."
might have to
That
do
was
with
one
a
of those
certain
guys when we
smuggling
went down
case.
the walkway.
But
We're
it is
like,
still
right?
uncertain if there is in fact another party
Another
behind
party
all
behind
this.
this. Yeah.
We are planning to return
And
to
also
the
when he
Palais
made the
Marmonia
fountain
to
glow
revisit some
too, I'm
details
sure
and
everyone saw
identify the
that.
senders of that threatening letter.
All right, then I'll round up the Spina di Rosula and follow up on their progress.
Sounds good. Thank you,
Wait for
Navi.
my word. Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.
Neuvillette, do you think there'll be any problems now that the word is out?
I guess that was always a risk
have already
once
considered
we
that
are ready.
possibility, and
Once we
I do
decide to
not
take
think
this
that there will
case,
be any.
the three of us
As
ourselves.
a matter of fact, once the word gets out, no one would dare to harm Kiara in broad daylight. What is more important is
You'd
how the
hope
case is
so.
perceived by the public. 400 years ago, they chose to side with the old regime and direct their resentment towards the Melusines. I hope the same won't happen again. Let us head back to the Palais.
Okay. So he took over a little over 400 years ago. 500 years ago was the Conria disaster. So, yeah, Paimon?
Strange. What are these people doing out on the streets so late at night?
Good question.
something
They
happen?
weren't
Let's take a look
there
around.
before. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Have you heard? Someone's plotting against a Melusine. This is 100% the truth. Even the Chief Justice is investigating in person.
What? That's it! Who's been threatening Melusines? Show yourself!
Our enemies are lurking in the shadows and won't easily reveal themselves. But no amount of
This
hiding
is so
will keep us from finding
different
them.
from when Carole was
That's
around.
exactly what I wanted to say.
Look at all these people
the gods have
rallying
already
around
begun
them.
to take action. We can't just stand by and watch. Think about how much we owe them. Now that they're in danger, how can we just sit back and do nothing?
Everyone, please stay alert to your surroundings from now on. If you see any suspicious persons, report them to the guards immediately.
Like I said, if Carole could see what things are like today, I think she'd be happy.
It feels like you've been following me this whole time. Did something happen?
We were informed that.
Nope. We just finished our shifts and happened to be strolling by.
Have you had dinner yet? Why don't we check out the new items at the dessert shop together?
Yeah, that sounds lovely.
This isn't a good time to be out and about.
You sound like you're pretty hungry.
Come
I
on.
don't know.
Don't act tough. I bet you're hungry too.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go buy a cake or something.
Perfect healthy eating, yes.
You shouldn't ever skip meals. Especially if you have another shift scheduled for later.
And look at all the people from different places too gathering back there. That's the thing, like this bringing together of culture is something that
I heard even Neuvillette's keeping an eye
at
on the
one point
situation.
would not have been possible.
This
And
is
look
the
at
perfect
everything
chance
now.
to get promoted. We gotta make sure we give it all we've got.
Seriously? Were you planning to shirk your duties if Neuvillette wasn't involved?
Yeah.
Relax, I was just playing. We've worked together for years now. If something happened to them, I'd be haunted by regret for the rest of my life.
That's good
That's
to
more like
hear.
it. We should stand guard until the criminal has been caught.
Come and fight me instead, you cowards!
Yeah.
Have you heard? Even the special patrol came to help. Shh, look. Isn't that Neuvillette?
Yeah, sorry, you don't.
Looks like there's nothing to
Yeah,
worry about.
you don't hide yourself very well. But yes,
This is truly wonderful.
it is.
So, wanna go over and say hi?
No, I should stay where I am. My appearance could give rise to unnecessary commotion. Let us
Unfortunately,
stick to
that
our
appears
plan
to
and
be
return
correct.
to the Palais Marmonia. The faster we uncover the truth, the
Here's the
better.
thing. You can learn about humans even... Sometimes you can learn a lot even just keeping your distance and staying from afar. Do you all have something to say?
All this reminds me of a rumor I've heard.
Oh no,
What
we
rumor?
have a lot of rumors here in Fontaine,
I've heard
don't
that the emblem on our hats didn't always look like this.
we? Okay.
A long time ago, Melusines weren't a part of the design. The police
Oh, are
emblem
Melusines
only
part of
if
the
the
design?
emblem was redesigned
Whoops.
later on to commemorate a Melusine's sacrifice.
You're right, they're in the
That must
middle.
have been a long time ago.
Yeah. You could see even in that final court case with Vautrin, like, people's attitudes, maybe not towards Melusines themselves are changing, but like, I'd like to think so. They were basically defending Vautrin, if nothing else, just because of his, service and his past merit. But yeah, they were willing to defend him, even though what he was doing is getting vengeance for the death of a Melusine.
I must keep the Melusine safe.
I just can't sit back and watch.
I must keep them. I just can't sit.
So she's just watching.
No one can stay hidden on my watch.
Yeah. Even if everybody has their own reasons for it, at least they can all agree that, you can't just point fingers at somebody and say it's all your fault just because they're different than you. I mean, that's just completely unfair. Especially in a nation of justice, right? But anywhere even. You can't, no. They haven't done anything. Nothing bad, and certainly trying to do good, so I'm glad things have changed this day for the better. What's the wrong one? The button disappeared, okay? The smuggling case. There you go.
The smuggling case was solved by the joint forces of the guards and the Maréchaussée Phantom. This is the one.
Phantom.
The list of involved suspects should be... Ah, found it.
What does it say?
The principal offenders Domenico, Inica, Yuna, and others have been caught. They have been sent to the fortress of Meropide following trial.
Okay.
Those with close connections or mutual interests with the offenders but who did not participate in the case will not stand trial. Among them, surveillance of Essin has ceased on account of his good behavior. All other personnel remain on our watch list.
So many names. Is the one who sent that threatening letter to Kiara on the list?
Possibly.
Yes, there is something suspicious about Essin, to be precise.
Okay.
It seems like he's closely related to the core members of the smuggling case, and he moves around without much restriction.
Should we tell Navia about this?
Monsieur Neuvillette, someone claiming to be from the Spina di Rosula just checked in with us.
Perfect timing.
He said, and I quote, "We have located the suspect. They're chatting at the cafe."
Oh, perfect.
Huh? How did Navia find them so quickly? We've only just figured out the suspect's name.
Navia's
I
super
too
smart.
am perplexed. The cafe isn't too far from here. We should head over and take a look.
Let's go. Let's see what's up. A lot of stuff happens in this cafe, doesn't it? A bunch of guys here. Navia. Hello, Navia.
Hey, Navia, we're here.
I'm sorry, we're gonna draw a lot of attention now that the three of us are here, but it's okay. If you really have the guys narrowed down,
Check out all these people.
we are going to get them now.
There, are you Navia's friends too?
These are the people who have had recent dealings at the Maréchaussée Phantom. They're usually hidden in the Fleuve Cendre, but I sent for someone to invite them over.
Okay.
Invite them over?
Exactly. Now, I heard there's great coffee here, and so I asked them if they'd like to come and have some.
Yeah, it's our pleasure to be guests of the Spina di Rosula.
Yes, such a pleasure.
I've wanted to have a meetup like this for ages.
They are definitely held with a figurative gun pointed at their heads.
Let's get back to business. Is there anyone called Essin here?
Yes, that's me.
Okay.
You're Essin?
Yes, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Did you write that threatening letter to Kiara?
It's a yes or no question, sir.
I did, but I was just following orders.
From whom?
Orders from whom?
Yeah. I see that condescending
he was my
expression.
boss. I couldn't disobey his orders.
Domenico, where is
Isn't
he
he
now?
in the prison?
The Fortress of Meropide.
Yeah.
Well, I'm afraid even the Spina would have trouble looking into that place.
Oh, you know who wouldn't have trouble? You know who has like a free pass to go inside and outside of the Fortress of Meropide whenever we
I'm
please?
extremely grateful for your help.
Apparently we haven't finished serving our sentence, so we get to drop by and finish that up whenever we want, right?
He really is the one setting up the conspiracy. It'd be best if he's exposed as soon as possible.
Alright then, let's head to the fortress right now.
What do we do with all these guys? I guess Navia's got them, taking care of them. Let's continue current quest. Oh, the quests in here have been, something else has been blocking it off anyway, so there's been another quest blocking it, so I don't know. Because I'll just never be able to finish off stuff down here in the Fortress of Meropide. Look at us getting to visit and be visited by every character in Fontaine. Hello.
Welcome to the Fortress of Meropide, dear esteemed guests.
That's us, esteemed guests. We haven't finished serving our prison sentence yet.
Oh, and a greeting from none other than the Duke himself.
Well, just like at the beginning, right? Just like old times.
This isn't anything new. I figured you had important matters to discuss when the two of you, not to mention the Chief Justice, showed up.
Okay.
Let's assume we've gone through the pleasantries and cut right to the chase.
Okay. We tell Risley about the threat letter Kiara received.
I do remember a thing or two about Domenico. He once attempted to round up the other inmates and instigate a protest.
Okay.
Who does this guy think he is? Paimon hopes nothing came of it.
He once attempted to, I said, meaning that it was over before it even started. And now he's threatening Melazines, is he? To be honest, Domenico doesn't seem like much of a conspirator. The fact that the three of you bothered to personally investigate raises a flag. Is there something else going on behind the scenes here?
He's got the same concerns we do.
I am concerned about this incident because something similar has occurred in the past. I wish to meet Domenico in person and have my questions answered.
That's right.
That's an easy one. Let me think. I think he's at...
Yeah, no worries.
Did I hear someone say Melazine? What happened?
Hello, Cedrin.
Cedrin!
Melazine and Kiara received a threatening letter.
Yeah, and we're investigating. The person who threatened her seems to be...
Cedrin has wings. Some of them have wings.
Really? Is Kiara gonna be okay?
She's fine.
There's no need to worry.
Yeah.
Clarande is protecting her as we speak.
That's right.
Well, that's great. But if the criminal's still... Is there anything you can do about this?
Ah, head nurse. Do you require me to personally deal with the criminal?
Risley.
Okay, I get it. I'll bring Domenico to you. That's your only demand, correct?
I think so, yeah.
Think of it as more of a humble request. I'm here on my own accord, not to formally transfer a criminal for trial. I urge you to set aside any concerns. Thanks for the trouble. Consider me in your debt.
Whoa! If Paimon were you here, Grace, Paimon would take this chance to ask for something really important.
I don't think
were I still a
he's
criminal,
gonna push
I'd
his
probably ask for a lighter sentence. But I'm sure Monsieur Neuvillette would reject that. But enough jokes. I'll look for Domenico and bring him to you.
Thank
Make
you.
yourselves at home. Our dear head nurse has mentioned you quite a few times, so I'm sure she has a lot to say.
Have we actually, except for...
Me to the infirmary.
Okay, we can do that.
And watch your step. There's some pretty dark areas, so make sure you don't trip over anything.
Great. Except for Linny, Lina, and Fremine, have we met everybody? From Fontaine? We haven't met Farina. We haven't seen Farina yet. Welfare meal! There we go. Let's get going. We haven't had to fight anyone yet, but I assume that's gonna change at some point. But yeah, seems like we've basically almost met all the characters that we know of so far.
Did Neuvillette just walk by?
Oh my gosh, it's Neuvillette!
I can leave this place soon. Huh?
The infirmary. We have many, many memories here. Is Linny, Lynette, and Femini still here? Probably not. They've probably, you know, left this place already. Hopefully.
Please rest here for a moment. Oh, and would anyone like anything to drink?
Water, please.
Paimon's not that thirsty, but thanks anyway. Thirst is a warning sign that you're dehydrated, which means you have to drink up even before that. I'll bring you some tea. I'm sure you'll have a lot to talk
yes,
about.
tea. We love tea down here in the Fortress of Meripede. I love tea.
Typical Citrin. Concerned about everyone's health as always.
Yeah.
Why aren't you two saying anything?
The criminals we passed by earlier.
You noticed them too. The badges they wore on their chests.
Oh, I
looked
didn't
quite
see them. I only
familiar.
heard their voices. I thought they were like the two guys from earlier. Maybe there's something suspicious about the two guys from earlier
But if
too.
both of you say so, let's go ask them about it.
Paimon and I will go. You're not exactly a sight for sore eyes around here.
That's not a bad idea. I will stay here and wait for news from you.
Yeah.
I place great trust in Wriothesley, so I rarely visit the Fortress of Meripede. However, exceptional circumstances call for exceptional measures. I hope I didn't cause him too much trouble.
Maybe just a little bit of trouble. I mean, it's true. I'm sure there's quite a few people down here who don't like Neuvillette because he was the one who put them in here in the first place. Yeah, it's a little awkward. These guys. Mutual Aid Network member.
Anything you need?
They do have special badges. It's a badge you're wearing.
Oh, this? Are you interested in joining the Mutual Aid Network?
Yes, we are.
We have a very long history, going back as far as 400 years ago. We have never had many members throughout our history, nor do we have much of a reputation, but everyone treats each other like family.
Okay.
Helping each other is our purpose. At the same time, we seek to maintain just dealings as much as possible.
Okay.
Sounds like a pretty neat organization.
Sure.
All we want is to defend ourselves. None of us have ever committed serious crimes, and we're not especially powerful either. We're at a natural disadvantage here in the fortress. But people won't give us a hard time if we stick together.
Okay. At face value, that doesn't seem too bad. But now you have me on high alert. It's like fact checking like things, right? You have to make sure. You have to really know what they're actually after, and have proof of their dealings before you can really make any judgment.
Interested in joining the Mutual Aid Network?
Tell me more about
If
it.
you'd like to learn more, here's our flyer.
Help each other. Do all you can to further justice. Do not detest just judgment. The above are the 3 principles of Mutual Aid Network. All are welcome to join, and membership is free. There are no compulsory group events. The Mutual Aid Network encourages members to do what they are able, including but not limited to cleaning, exercising, tutoring, and studying. It is hoped that all Mutual Aid Network members will, during their time in the Fortress of Meripede, face up to the crimes they've committed, encourage each other, support each other, and welcome the future together. Okay. That doesn't sound bad.
Over the centuries, but our goal has remained unchanged. Here, this book is for you. You're welcome to come and sign up anytime.
Thanks. We're gonna be leaving the Fortress of Meripede soon, but I appreciate that. You were excited to be leaving, and then you're like, huh? Well, as soon as we walked by. What's up with that?
You two look kind of familiar.
I know, we finished our sentence. Actually, we haven't finished our sentence, but we're let off the hook. The badge you're wearing?
It's the symbol of the mutual aid network designed by our first president.
Okay.
From what I've heard, it's based on something called a Medal of Peace. I've never seen one of those medals for myself, though.
That doesn't look anything like the Medal of Peace that Neuvillette gave to Carole and Vautrin, but okay. I mean, that one had a more 3D design. Like, it was like a shell with a pearl in it, right? This just looks like a badge.
The first president of our network was an amazing person. Powerful as he was, he never used his strength against anyone. He encouraged the weaker criminals to stick together and look out for each other.
Okay.
All of us have a lot of respect for him.
Okay.
We should have gathered enough
Suspicious.
information. Let's head back and talk to Neuvillette.
Like I said, at face value, it's not. But come on, we're head first into this really complicated investigation right now, and there's something just a little bit off about them. Oh, you look very relaxed.
Did you manage to gather any intel?
The people who wore the badges belong to an organization called the Mutual Aid Network.
Yeah, or MAN for short.
The badge's design was inspired by the Medal of Peace. Have you seen any of those before?
Yeah, he gives them
I
out.
personally crafted 2 of them myself.
Yeah.
They were awarded
Oh, so they were
to Carole
only
and
awarded to
Vautrin.
Carole and Vautrin, and
Carol's
that's kind
medal
of
was
suspicious.
destroyed in a fire. The only one that remained should belong to Vautrin.
Did he create that when he was in the when he was here?
Monsieur Neuvillette, His Grace has requested your presence in his office.
Interesting.
He's
So
found
maybe they
Dominico.
were followers of Vautrin
All right.
when he went to jail.
Let us talk to
for
him first and
his
get
crimes.
to the bottom of this situation.
Okay, maybe if that's the case, then maybe it is real. Maybe it is a nice organization. Then, like I said, like this game tricks me so much into like letting my guard down here and being too suspicious here, and then completely missing the punchline until the big reveal happens, and I don't like being tricked. Or rather, I don't mind being tricked because that makes the story more interesting. But I also like it when I can solve the puzzle, of which. But I see. If it was inspired by Vautrin, then maybe that showed that even when he was down here, after he was convicted, he really did try to turn his life around after, you know, murdering people for vengeance. And really did try to, you know, do some good once he was sent here. In which case, it's not bad at all. Of course, helping each other is... Wait, that's probably it. Helping each other. That's what he and Carole wanted, right? Melazines and humans should be able to work together. All people should be able to find their commonalities and work together, if need be.
Allow me to introduce this fine gentleman, Domenico. Why don't you explain everything to him?
Yes.
Neuvillette?
Yeah, you better start talking.
What do you want? What are you gonna do? Kill me?
No, just
Calm
answer
down.
the questions.
I merely want to ask you a few questions.
Yeah.
Was it your idea to send that letter to a Melazine? Hassan has already confessed, so there really isn't any need to keep hiding.
Yeah.
That idiot! I can't believe I trusted him.
Let me ask this another way. It was your idea to send that letter, correct?
Yes. Leading question, but you already know the
Who is
answer.
pulling your strings?
What? You're not trying to frame me for something I haven't done, are you?
No.
It's best if you realize the gravity of your situation. The Chief Justice of Fontaine has been personally investigating your case.
Yeah, that's right. We've been
I assume
everywhere,
your
so...
previous attempt to incite unrest at the Fortress of Meripede has something to do with this as well.
Look at the giant wolf he has behind him in his office.
I admit I acted on impulse. I'll tell you the truth. But before that, you must ensure my safety.
Okay, that's fair.
You see,
That's fair.
we're all reasonable people here.
It's also just the fact that, you know, getting hurt is not part of his prison sentence, so he should at least be guaranteed to only be punished within what he was sentenced to.
I only intended to do some small business at first. Someone contacted me about delivering some goods and promised me a generous sum of more in return. After making a few trips, I was suddenly approached by the Marechaussee Phantom. They accused me of smuggling prohibited items, and I was put on trial. But I refused to accept any of that. The ignorant can be rightfully absolved from guilt, right? Well, I suspect that someone got me locked up here
somebody
so they
framed
could get their hands
you
on my
for their
goods.
crime by getting you to be like a middleman for the goods. Interesting.
And then you decided to take revenge on the Melazines? Over that?
Yeah, it's not the Melazine's fault. This is exactly the problem that... This is why Neuvillette's saying that it's like the old case. You're basically just further scapegoating the problem onto a third party that really has nothing to do with your issues, but just are really easy to take advantage of. That's so mean. It does sound like you were framed, but that's no excuse to do what you did. Your ignorance is not an excuse, by the way.
My initial target was Neuvillette. Everyone in the fortress of Meropide was declared guilty by him after all. So they must more or less hold a grudge against him, right? If I could get them to strike
some of them,
back...
maybe.
But for some reason, no one wanted to team up with me. That mutual aid network in particular.
Everyone here seems to be more
nobodies even
focused on...
gain from trying to
Maybe I
challenge
really
them?
can make my life
Seriously.
better if I start
In
putting
the end, I had to
some work in.
redirect my focus onto Melazines to salvage things. I recall that
So-
Chiara was the one who confiscated my
so
goods for inspection.
mean.
So I asked one of
Basically
the more
just taking
approachable
advantage
guards
of
to
the
send a
weak,
letter, claiming that I
because
meant to
you
contact
feel like
my
your
family.
life isn't fair.
But the letter was in fact addressed to Essa. I requested that he write a threat letter to Chiara and force her to resign from the Marechaussee Phantom.
Am I to assume that the claims you've made are your own thoughts? Have you been in contact with any suspicious people recently?
No.
Is it true that all members involved in the smuggling scandal have been caught?
Yes. And that's all I know.
Sigewinne, please take him back to the detention center. I'll deal with him later.
Yeah. Goodbye.
So, Monsieur Neuvillette, you were concerned that there might be a shadowy faction looking to capitalize on the delicate situation with the Melazines to stir up greater chaos?
Yes. I experienced a similar incident in the past, so I had to be prepared for any possibility.
And how long ago was this incident?
Good question.
More than 400 years.
You might be overthinking this.
I love how nobody questions that fact. Over 400
Time can
years
change
ago.
a lot of things. Everything's different now.
What do you mean?
I hope so.
400 years ago, you and the Melazines you brought to Fontaine were the outliers in society. But in the present day, if someone were to threaten the safety of the Melazines, people wouldn't just sit back and do nothing. I trust that they would make different choices from before.
That's right! We saw lots of people standing up for Melazines on our way back to the Palais Mermonia.
That's right.
Monsieur Neuvillette, the Melazines are a species you introduced to Fontaine. How the public treats them is also reflective of their attitude towards you. When people refused to place their trust in Melazines, it was because they were still on the fence about you, their unfamiliar Chief Justice. For almost 500 years, you've conducted every trial with impartiality. You made the right judgment each time, regardless of whatever nonsense went on. People no longer have any reservations about you and even consider you a symbol of the law.
I'd say
Right
that
now,
means you're not
your
even an
every
outsider
decision will
anymore.
impact all of Fontaine. In other words, you've gradually transformed the whole nation.
Thank you, Risley, for putting that so eloquently.
Paimon gets it now. No wonder no one wanted to join forces with Domenico.
Yeah. Because, first of all, most of the people down here, the Fortress of Meropide is a place that's not necessarily meant to be about punishment and is more about reform, right? So people here really do believe in that idea of rebirth, that they've been sent here by Neuvillette to come back as different people, or make a satisfactory living down here, but either way make use of their lives in better ways. So people here don't actually hate Neuvillette as much as one might think. And then also, it's exactly as Risley says. I mean, like, just because things have changed for the better doesn't mean things can't go back to the way they were. But I sure hope things don't go back to the way they were, because that was really bad. I mean, I'd say still be wary of old ideologies kind of lingering around, waiting to come back. But from what we could see in the situation here in Fontaine, most people, everyone here is happy to live alongside the Melusines now. And I think it was good that Neuvillette still stayed cautious, because, like I said, it's not impossible for old ideas to still be lingering around. And I think that someone like Neuvillette shouldn't be not lenient, what's the word, like the opposite of cautious. He was being cautious, and I think that that's very responsible of him. But indeed, the times have changed, and as Risley said, it's because Neuvillette still sees himself as an outsider, but the way I've seen it as soon as we've entered Fontaine is that everyone respects Neuvillette, respects his judgment and the fact that he doesn't even show bias, not even to people he knows. He really does just play by the rules, but in a way that makes people believe he's going to make the right choices for the nation. And so he's earned their respect, and that correlates with the respect for the Melusines too. So I'd say neither of them are outsiders in Fontaine anymore. They are basically integral parts of Fontaine's society, and he definitely deserves to feel more like he belongs. Tragedies like that won't ever happen again.
I am undeserving of such high compliments. From my perspective, I have simply been fulfilling my duties.
Once again, though, Professor Risley put that very eloquently, but he did not question that
the promises
Neuvillettes
I've
from
made
400 years
for
ago.
answers through my judgments. It is unnecessary to hold me in such high regard.
Aww,
the complexity of human emotions and willpower far exceed those of mine. As a matter of fact, I believe that you are the ones who deserve my respect.
I guess, but that's the thing, it's almost like when somebody's empathetic on that level in that way towards the way humans are, like Neuvillette, you know, who really tries to understand all this emotion from all these people that he deals with all the time, hearing all the different opinions of all of Fontaine. One could say that he says that it is, you know, the complexity of human emotions and willpower far exceed those of his own, but at the same time, it's almost like he's the mirror. He's like the mirror reflecting back all of those feelings and emotions from people back to them. He tries to make sense of all those things and then uses that as his basis for how he understands the world and how he delivers justice. So I'd say he also is very important too, in that sometimes it's hard for us to look at ourselves and understand ourselves, but if we have somebody out there who's really reflecting that back, then it's easier to really make sense of it all, right? And that's definitely something that should be held in high regard.
There's no need to be so modest. The current state of affairs says it all. You're no longer that outsider you were before. Even if you wished to investigate something on your own, many would take the initiative to lend you a hand.
Exactly.
I must say that you've made a fair point.
There we go, a
Thank
fair
you for
point,
clearing
and that's
my
high
doubts.
praise from Neuvillette.
Now that the case has been settled, I should
all
get
is
going.
fair.
Huh? You're leaving?
And so soon, too? Why not stay for a cup of tea?
He prefers water.
Thank you for the offer, but I know how this place works all too well. While some are here to redeem themselves, there will inevitably be those who harbor resentment towards me. The less time I spend here, the better. My presence could very well result in an unwanted disturbance.
Agreed.
In that case, I'll have to insist. I still have two more things to say.
What is so
Please,
important?
Go ahead.
The first is about the guard who helped Domenico send that letter.
Ah, I know of what you speak. The guard was indeed deployed from the Palais Memoria's staff. However, as I mentioned earlier, I visited today on personal business. Therefore, I leave that matter in your hands.
Alright, so he's not going to help with
Well,
that.
that makes things a lot easier.
You're not going to...
Hey now, don't let your imagination run wild. Those from up there have a tendency to sympathize with others. However, down here, such thoughts will put you at high risk. I'll have a chat with the guard and remind him to take precautions in the future.
I see no issues with that.
Good.
Great, that's one thing out of the way. What's the other thing you wanted to say?
The other thing was born from my own sense of curiosity. Now, I've heard that you investigated the mutual aid network. Is that right?
Yep. Neuvillette thought their badges looked familiar.
I noticed the small gang as well when I first took over the Fortress of Meripede. They were not great in number, but every member always made sure to stand up for what was right. I've looked into their founder, Vautrin, who once stood trial and was sentenced to imprisonment in the fortress. According to existing documentation, Vautrin remained disciplined throughout his imprisonment. He had never once engaged in physical or verbal aggression. In other words, how he presented himself in prison was very different from his behavior in court.
What?
Almost like he wanted to be thrown in prison. Right? Just like with Callus. Maybe he had intentions that went beyond what the law and justice can cover. And that makes sense, you know. Well, first of all, I would assume someone who had such, who had those kinds of ideals of wanting to, I mean, he and Carole both really believed in that Melusines and humans couldn't live together. Like, ideas of unity and peace would really want to take advantage of basically making up for all the crimes he committed, right? So him founding the mutual aid network makes a lot of sense, you know, just wanting to do good for any chance to make up for the bad. Any chance at all. But also, yeah, definitely just like with Callus, when Neuvillette said he couldn't imagine any people valuing something more important to them than their own life, that they would throw their life away for their cause. I suspect Vautrin felt the same way about what he was doing too.
During his trial, I could sense that his feelings were complicated. He appeared to be full of resentment, and I believe he had every right to feel that way.
Perhaps he had been putting on an act.
An act?
An act.
Neuvillette
humans
and
are pretty good
Vautrin
at
had a
that
close
sometimes.
relationship as superior and subordinate. Vautrin must have known that the Chief Justice would make an impartial judgment. Thus, the more resentment he displayed, the clearer it would be to those present that you were upholding justice. And to those who had been sitting on the fence, Vautrin's act was a very meaningful one. That's all from me.
To show Neuvillette's
Does anyone else have anything to
impartiality,
say? Now's your chance.
There wasn't any.
I don't have anything to say. Apart from expressing my gratitude, that is.
Yes.
Well then, let us head back. No need to see us off.
So he also sort of sacrificed himself to help Neuvillette in his
take
image.
care.
Thank you. He really did save us there. In terms of bringing us the guy who was responsible. And why is it so quiet? There's no map. The music. Yeah, he really put everything very well. I can't say it any better. Wriothesley really does understand Neuvillette well, doesn't he? Thank you very much for
That trial
so
is
long.
something I rarely bring up in conversation, but I have always felt deep regret for what happened to both Carole and Vautrin. The words he spoke in court often replay in my mind, as if urging me on to do something.
But Wriothesley said he never resented you, right? Isn't that a good thing?
Yeah.
I believe I now understand what he wanted to tell me. I feel conflicted about those words. How should I describe it? Surprise, relief, fear, and regret. But this blend of emotions has led me to finally understand some things. I would like to hear your thoughts too. What do you think of me?
Paimon agrees with everything Risley said.
Me too. I think
As Chief Justice, every
Risley
single one
voiced
of your
those
trials makes an
thoughts
impact
very
on
well.
Fontaine. What do you think, Traveler? Hey, any comments?
I'm thinking, Paimon.
What I
Just give
really
me some.
think is, every trial you've ever judged has left its impression on you. And that's what makes you who you are today.
As the Hydro Dragon Sovereign, Neuvillette still thinks of himself as an outsider due to his identity. But so much time has passed since then. Perhaps the lines between him and humans have long since blurred.
That is indeed a reasonable assumption. As I said, I
Speaks.
find it difficult to express my
Either.
emotions because I cannot fully understand myself. But I trust your judgment. Since some time ago, I have begun to notice the changes that have occurred upon my person. These changes were not due to any specific occurrence, but emerged as a result of time itself. I will try to contemplate this further. Thank you both.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh, huh? It's raining! Oh no, Paimon forgot to bring an umbrella! Come on, let's hurry before it rains harder!
It's raining. Neuvillette. You see that? The water almost sparkles.
It's raining again? I've had enough of this weather.
There go my travel plans.
Did you read the news this morning? Quick, put away everything on the clothesline.
When is this rain going to stop?
Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
Aww, don't cry.
They're planning to reanimate the monster. We have to report this to the Chief Justice.
Is that the dog from the Melazine
Fortress
quest?
of Meripede. It's a good place for me.
He owes me so many answers.
Neuvillette? You could say he's the real symbol of Fontaine's justice.
Watch him closely. He could be trouble.
I guess they are in this quest after all.
How can two completely different species possibly coexist?
Who's been threatening Melazines? Show yourself!
Times have changed.
You will see much in the human world, from the delightful to the depressing. And one day, when you have dwelt among humanity long enough, you will be placed to bring judgment over all as a spokesperson for Fontaine's past.
Good morning, Monsieur Neuvillette! The rainy season's almost over! The skies are supposed to clear in a few days!
I hope you find time to enjoy the sunny days ahead.
That's right, sunny days ahead. Oh, look who's waiting for us here.
Is the matter resolved?
Oh, Charlotte, here's your chance.
The person who sent that threatening letter. Risley said he'd keep a close eye on him, so the Melazine should be safe now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Sorry for dragging you all into this.
There's no need to apologize.
Yeah, you didn't drag us in. We got involved of our own accord.
By the way, where's Kiara?
At the Palais Mermonia. More than 50 people offered to protect her. Some even hid within the bushes to look out for danger.
Well, it seems the danger
I
is
was
gone
worried
now,
that the
so they
excess
can
of protection
probably
would
take
make
a
her
break.
feel uneasy. So I asked her to stay inside the Palais. It's very safe in there.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. It might stress her out.
Well, now it looks like the dust has finally settled.
It really
to
has.
celebrate this joyous occasion, Monsieur Neuvillette, would you be interested in an exclusive interview?
That's not how you celebrate!
I will consider it.
Oh, he'll consider it.
Really?
Progress has been made.
My schedule is full for the following weeks, but I should be available next month. Come up with questions during the intervening days, and I will answer them to the best of my ability.
Yes! Thank you so much, Monsieur!
Now, if you'll excuse me, I must head back to the Palais and issue a communique to publicize our investigation results. I hope it will
Sounds
assuage
great.
the concerns of all.
How's it going?
Oh, an exclusive interview! Am I dreaming? What should I ask him?
What should you ask him? Do you not have the questions written out, like,
Make
since
the
the
most of
beginning?
this opportunity and ask away.
I agree. He'll decline any question he can't answer anyway. So you might as well give all of them a shot.
Aw, I like that these three are friends. Let's see. That cutscene was really beautiful, though. How he basically is just walking across all of Fontaine at the different times and present and now, and realizing. But that's the thing, is it like sometimes you feel sad and you want to look outside and see the sun again because the sun will make you less sad, right? But for Neuvillette, he can't really do that, right? Because the skies will basically respond to however he feels, and once he starts feeling sad, then the entire world is gonna start raining too. Oh, the kid was like, Hydro Dragon, don't cry. That made it even more sad. I guess that's the thing, is maybe it's not, maybe sometimes when you're sad, you, on the other hand, you sometimes wish that the world responded to you and like showed that it understood you. And if the world starts raining when you feel sad, you know the world is listening. Wow, Celestia is so close to Fontaine. I feel like it's getting closer. It's watching us. But I'm glad that the sun came out at the end. Must have been a short rainstorm here. I almost went to the other door again, I swear.
Quit following me.
Hello. Ah, you get to hang out in this big office. Oh, she's sleeping.
Kiara?
Monsieur Neuvillette? Sorry, I accidentally fell asleep.
It's quite all right.
That's okay, it's been
I'm
a
here
long
to tell
day.
you that we have caught the sender of that threatening letter. You're safe now.
Thank you, Monsieur.
Yeah, no problem.
And thank you too, Traveler and Big Sis Paimon. Everyone's been so nice to me, so I've always felt really safe.
That's lovely to hear.
Do you remember Domenico? He was the sender of that letter.
Let me think. I can't remember. My memory isn't that good, so I easily forget things. By the way, I saw Carole in my dreams just now. Where's she gone, by the way?
Yeah, you're right. The Melusines are in the emblem on their hats. Well, she doesn't
In my
know.
dream, she looked really happy. She held my hand and said, Kiara, our dreams have finally come true.
That's right.
I can't remember what our dreams were anymore. and I don't know why. But I felt really happy too.
I can sense your joy. It is indeed a delightful moment.
Monsieur Neuvillette, are you happy too? Oh, I almost forgot! Am I allowed to go out now?
Yes, of course.
I promised to model for Alof.
That's right! I can't wait to see.
Of course. Off you go.
And we'll send a letter out telling all the people outside they don't have to worry anymore
Traveler
too.
and Big Sis Paimon?
Yeah, no problem.
See you next time.
I'm glad we were able to make Carole's dream come true. I love how they skip off like that. The remains of the past day. There we go. Ah, that was very eventful, wasn't it? Reply note. Away for personal reasons, we'll be back in a day. Personal reasons? Oh me, oh my. Has our Chief Justice come to his senses? If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. You should follow my example and go out more often. You need to get to know your people better. Even if something unfortunate happens, you'll still run into lots of unique characters along the way. What do you think? The human world isn't too bad now, is it? Well, I'd say that Neuvillette has always been in touch with humans and the human world. He just doesn't show it in the same way Farina does. Did I get all the things for my commissions? Yay! Perfect. What do you have to say?
I really can't fathom what goes on in her head sometimes.
Fair enough, fair enough. I guess soon we will be learning more about Farina. That's the thing. I think in the next Archon quest, Farina will definitely learn what she must do in order to really protect her people. What did I get here? Wait, why was there an exclamation mark? Is there a quest item? Credit coupons. You obtain when Neuvillette has to you. Oh, that was way back. Okay, I don't know. What is this? Commissions! Perfect. Alright. Well, I won't end it off there, but yes, definitely very thoughtful going through Neuvillette's story quest. Learning a little bit about the past of Fontaine, a little bit about Neuvillette. We still don't know, about his powers and his origins, but...
You think I've got a sharp tongue?
Shush. Maybe that doesn't matter very much compared to, what he's able to do with his life. And similarly, the chance that he gave to other people, he gave to the Melusines. And now, 400 years later, the Melusines are viewed as part of Fontaine society, as is Neuvillette. And I'm happy that it's just like Neuvillette said to Carole, it's going to take time and effort for things to change. And indeed, she put in her best efforts during her life, and things started to change.
What they say is true. You have to see the world for yourself to appreciate how beautiful it is.
Yes, that's true. And eventually enough time has passed. Time and effort together has made Fontaine a more beautiful place. There we go. Alright, I won't take any more of your time. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone!